Welcome to Hot Take Thursday, where we take a listener question that is related to the episode that we did on Tuesday and we answer it in our trademark honest way. We've not actually trademarked that. That's
Don't tell
probably
people that, then they're going to go steal our ideas.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Andrea.
It's horrible.
Dare you.
Okay, I have to ask your hot take / reaction on one very important thing, though. How fast did I just change?
Oh my God, you guys have no idea the stress this causes me. When we come in to record, I'm like, how many outfits did Andrea? Great, I'm going to look like the bum who still has the outfit on. They're going to be like, did she just wear the same thing today? Or, yeah.
I actually, in my real life, in my real work, I wear the same thing every day. Did you know that? I do a repeat.
Seriously?
100%. I see clients Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I wear the same
I'm
outfit.
the only one who has to suffer through your outfit changes.
Exactly. Yes. You did not suffer, Jess. That took 2 seconds for me to change my outfit.
Fair, because we're on a time crunch. However, I have a question for you.
Please.
Would you ever be open to switching your outfit or your top between sessions one day?
I don't. Between like therapy sessions?
Yeah.
Oh, I could. Would I want to? No, because that like
I didn't ask
kills
if
the
you
whole
wanted
point
to.
of my capsule outfit.
No,
I want to make
like,
a decision.
If you like had it on and you're like, okay, bye. And then your other client is like there and you're like, just 1 second, I need to change my top.
Okay, I wouldn't even need 1 second, Jess. That's the point, is that no one would even know, but I would have to do more work. I am a very fast changer. And I think this is kind of like that moment in the gynecologist office where they're like, all right, undress.
So many thoughts.
And you just rip everything off so fast. I am always prepped.
Like you're like spread eagle, and they're like, so like, how are the kids? And you're like, yeah, how's my vagina? Your head's like right in it.
No, the best is that you know. The best is that you know you're going to get spread eagle, and I don't know if I'm the only one who does this, but I take my clothes that I've just whipped off in a millisecond, and then I like gingerly hide my underwear.
Oh God, yeah, you're not gonna be like. I want to know if you're an underwear lever on topper out there, because I am fascinated. I always tuck my underwear in, even though my vagina is spread out for them.
Okay, this has nothing.
This is no longer Hot Take Thursday. It is Vagina Monologues.
That went sideways. Okay, so why don't we remind people what we talked about on Tuesday, since this literally has nothing to do with it.
This is not what we were talking about at all. We were talking about sleep.
Mm-hmm. That makes it sound boring, but it was not boring. Sleep is important.
Boring. Yeah. It is important. It does make it sound boring. I'm usually not boring. I sounded pretty boring.
No, it's just, sleep is one of those topics that I feel like, we all know it's important and, no one really wants to talk about it. But I promise that if you haven't heard the episode, we talk about it in a way.
It's not boring.
No, it's not boring. It's worthwhile. Now, we have a listener question that is related, and this question is a little loaded. So let's jump in. Dear honest women, I'm married to someone who appears to need much less sleep than me, and it's exhausting, not just physically. I feel like when I want to sleep in or take a nap, he's throwing me shade or acting superior, like, if that's what you need. I want to punch him in the face. How can I get the sleep I need without being judged?
Sorry, I had to take a note while you were talking so I didn't forget.
Okay. What did you got?
So, well, the first thing is that when this listener said he's throwing shade, my first thought is he actually throwing shade, or do you think he's throwing shade? Because as a recovering people pleaser over here, okay, I remember I used to think when I said no to something because I wanted to sleep, funny enough, I forgot about this till just now. It just popped in my brain. In my 20s, when I was working full-time and going to grad school, and a friend or my Dan at the time, we were just dating, would say, oh, do you want to go to this concert tonight or go out? And I remember thinking, oh my God, I have to say no because I need to sleep, because I have to get up in the morning and work, and I have to study for this test. And I'd be like, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And I remember, I have a visceral reaction to this listener's question, because I remember thinking that people got mad at me because I was saying no. They were upset with me. They were disappointed at me. Now, fast forward, I don't know, 15 years, I don't think they actually were. I think I was projecting my own feelings onto them. So my question to the listener is he actually throwing shade, or are you just thinking that he's upset? Can I add one more thing? I'm sorry. I'm
Please.
just on a tangent now.
You go.
Okay. The second thing that I want to add is, hold on, because it just flew out of my brain.
Are you still sleep deprived?
Yes. Dang it. Okay, now if you have something to say, go ahead and say it, because I
do.
literally just forgot. It was a
I'm
good
ready.
one. I'll remember.
Honestly, I think
down.
I might have like intentionally wiped your brain from here because I was like, no, I want to say something. So I feel much better about this right now. Okay. The fact that you're saying you want to punch him in the face and you feel like he's judging you is also an indicator to me that you are probably sleep deprived. So I just want to validate that, yes, sister, like if you are feeling violent towards the people in your life and you feel like they're thinking bad thoughts about you, like it's probably an indicator that you do need more sleep. With that said, Jess, I got to tell you,
Tell me.
sometimes people in your life are judging you for needing sleep. One of them is my husband. So your Dan and your friends might have been like, oh, I don't care that she's missing that. I really do think that my Dan feels like he is a stronger human than me and maybe a better human than me because he does not need as much sleep as I do.
Ooh, I feel like them are fighting words.
They are. I'm mad about it. I
think
know.
I can feel the animosity. I'm like, oh God.
He listens to this.
I know he does. He's
I
listening
think-
to it.
Babe, here's the thing. The
Listen,
amount of
DB.
sleep that you get or that you need at night, it is personal, okay? That 7 to 9 hours now we're thinking is kind of a guideline. And of course, there's a bell-shaped curve. At any age during your life, there are people who need a little less and only a little. So this whole thing that you think that you can not sleep enough, like it's impacting you. And then there's people who need a little bit more. He might be on the lower end. Like I really think at 6.5, 7 hours, he is pretty functioning. With that said, he falls asleep literally everywhere to the point that it's become a family joke. There was
So he's
one
not
year.
functioning with 6.5, 7 hours.
See,
Also,
that's what
are
I'm
you
saying.
our listener? Is this your question? Because you seem to align with this listener.
It's
quite
not my question,
beautifully.
but it could have been my
You
question.
align with it.
So it is such a problem, his falling asleep everywhere, that it was a family joke that we should do like an art installation of places that dad has fallen asleep. Like just
You could
like
have a
on the
gallery
baseball
wall.
field. Yeah. Yeah. If he
like
keeps
this
giving me
idea.
shit about this, I am going to follow through with this in
No, I
the
think we should
hours
do it.
that
I just think we should do it. Anyways, sorry, DB. You're DB now. DB and DH are what we coined our husbands now. So you're not saying my
Right.
dad. Okay, I remember my thought.
Go ahead.
Are you ready for it?
No.
It's not. It's actually not. Like, I prepped that. You're going to be severely disappointed. But it's about disappointment.
Okay.
Funny enough. That was a good segue. Because here's the deal, is a lot of times when we say no to something or I want to go to bed, what we think is shade is sometimes disappointment. Don't take my disappointment away from me. Also, if your friend, your spouse, anybody is disappointed that you can't go or you can't do said thing because you want to sleep, that's a good thing. It means they like you. They love you. They want to spend time with you. So, is it shade or is it disappointment? And you want your husband to be disappointed sometimes that you don't want to spend time with him because it means he actually likes you.
Yeah, that's a nice reframe. He also just might be mad at you for needing to go to sleep.
He also might
But that
just
is
think
a
you're
nice
lazy.
reframe.
Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah,
I call my
he-
husband
well,
lazy sometimes.
Yeah,
He likes to
yes.
sleep.
This is a cultural thing. What I think that you're pointing out though, Jess, is that we need to know, like in a couple, you mentioned in our last episode that everyone needs to identify what their ideal amount of sleep is. And again, first, this starts by trying to get a reasonable amount of sleep. So, to our sisters in the Facebook group who are stuck at like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, ladies, you need to try
no.
getting more and see how you feel. And then when you find your sweet spot, we need to have this conversation, right? My husband needs to say to me, I find I feel really good at 6.5 hours of sleep. And I need to be able to say to him, and I find I feel really good at like 8.5. And I think that's probably true for us. One is not better than the other. And we need to be able to share that and then say, okay, if sleep is this foundational thing that allows us to be healthy in our bodies, but also to function relationally. Like when I do not sleep, I am not nice to you, husband. So like and you are not nice to me, to be fair. Everyone in my house is crabby this week, so I'm on edge. We need to align on what our amount is and that it's important, and then work together to get enough sleep.
And I like how you talked about I need,
Mm-hmm.
not you, I
Mm-hmm.
need, right? Because that's another thing that I see people do and couples do all the time. Well, you can fall asleep a lot faster than me. Well, you can take a nap on the couch and the kids won't leave you alone, which
Mm-hmm.
historically speaking, I don't know a single heterosexual couple that does not experience this, where dad can just fall asleep on the couch and kids don't even bother him. I shut my eyes for 1 minute and it's like, mom, right? However, couples will get into that argument versus saying, listen, I know you can function off of 6 hours of sleep. I wish I could.
Right.
I need 7 to
Mhm.
8 hours in order to function. That's when I feel best,
Mm-hmm.
right? Speak from the place of you.
Yeah. And then make it really practical. So in order for me to get 8 hours of sleep, I really need to be in bed by 9 so I can sleep by 9:30. And in order for me to be able to sleep by 9:30, everyone in the house needs to help make sure the kitchen is cleaned up before they go to bed. Because it shouldn't be that everyone in the house is getting their Z's and I'm up sacrificing mine in order to take care of everything. Or, I really want to be able to hang out with you tonight. I feel like we have not even hardly seen each other. So to do that, we'd need to be like hanging out by 8:30, which means we got to get the other stuff done. Like you have to then find out what is keeping you from getting the amount of sleep that you need and work together to develop a plan so that it doesn't just keep happening over and over.
You want to hear a funny story? It's not really funny, but it's a funny story.
Well, now I'm really excited. Please.
So this week, I had I had a very long week, one in which the air conditioning went out in my office, which a part of me like has a little bit of criticism in my head because I'm like, AC is a luxury. I get that, but I've gotten used to an air conditioner. However, it has been exceptionally hot in the Midwest and the humidity is very high. And I worked for 6 hours in my office and it was 86 degrees with 60% humidity. All day. And I came home after picking up one of my children and I have to like run in the house, get them really ready really fast for another activity they have in the afternoon. I walk into my house and everything from breakfast was still on the counter. It reminded me when you said getting the kitchen clean. Everything. Not only that, then lunch stuff was still out.
Oh my God.
I couldn't even touch it because we had to go to this activity and come back. But what was I doing when I got home at like 7:30 at night? What
Right.
was I doing?
Rage cleaning. That's what you were doing.
Rage cleaning. In
Yeah.
strolls, DH. And he's like, hey. And I'm like, he just sees my face and my energy. And he was like, I think he walked out. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I was
Right.
like, I think I disassociated because I was like, I'm either going to pick up a butcher knife or I'm going to run out of this house. Or I think he saw it and was like, ooh, she looks psychotic. But yes, I'm sorry. I had to just tell that story because you said clean the kitchen. And you're right. We have to say those expectations out loud too. I will say it led to a very good conversation in my house about taking ownership in stuff so mom doesn't have to. And then
Mm-hmm.
my adorable youngest goes, I'm going to make sure because I just love it when you're happy. And then I was like, oh no, it's a future people pleaser, future problem, future problem.
Listen, if that people pleasing makes him be a more productive member of whatever society that he's involved in, right? Like a better community member in his home, I think it's okay.
Right? I agree.
Hot take?
Hot take.
All right. Well, that is it for this week. Make sure that you are subscribed to the show because next week we are tackling another foundational topic in wellness, and I'm not even going to tell you what it is
No, but I
because
promise you it's not boring. We are
yeah.
taking, I want to go ahead and say, we are taking, one of the things we are doing on this podcast is taking conversation that are conversation topics that people do not want to have,
Mm-hmm.
and we're having them. And some of that is boring topics or seemingly boring topics that are very important.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be an interesting one. It will be a good one. It will always be entertaining.
Yeah, I think it's going to be loaded, honestly. So make sure you don't miss it.